Justice Smith. Jabari for three and the win. Yeah! He got it!
What's up, everyone? It's Lashar Binkler. Of course, I am the host of Rockets Fuel podcast. And today we have some breaking news that just came out of Rockets practice today as the Rockets get ready to take on Orlando Magic on Wednesday in the season opener as they kick off the 2023-2024 season. We were out today at practice, had a very long practice. It went a lot longer than it was originally scheduled because, of course, they have a lot to go over, a lot to work on. But we were able to talk to um, Coach Udoka. We was able to talk to Dylan Brooks and Jeff Green. And Ime mentioned in the first interview, he was talking about, the upcoming preparations, getting ready for Orlando. And then he also spoke on Tari Eason, and this is what he had to say.
Yeah, Tari, he's going to be out for a few weeks. Got some leg soreness there. We'll see, 2 to 3 weeks it's sounding like. He's in kind of the rehab stage, and we'll take it. After 2 weeks, we'll get him out there and check out.
He's like a stress fracture.
So as you see there, Coach was saying that Tari Eason will be out 2 to 3 weeks. They're reevaluating a couple of weeks. He's already in the rehab stage. He's missed the last 3 preseason games leading up to that, but it was some thought that he could possibly be okay, be ready for the season opener. But as you see there, he'll be out for a few weeks, and they'll be reevaluating him in a couple of weeks. Said a lower leg reaction, which I guess could be a lower leg contusion. I'm not exactly a medical doctor here, but it doesn't sound like anything serious, but at the same time, it's enough to keep him out for 2 or 3 weeks. Remember, Tari Eason didn't miss any time last year. He played all 82 games as a rookie, one of only a handful of players that played every game last year. Funny enough, another player that's no longer on the team, KJ Martin Jr., actually will also play 82 games last season. But to be able to play 82 games, play every single game as a rookie, that was a huge accomplishment for Tari Eason. But unfortunately, he won't be doing that again this season. And that will open the door for other players like a Reggie Bullock, who they just brought in, like a Jayshawn Tate, who's still going to be in the rotation even more now because Tari Eason was going to be the Rockets' sixth man. He was going to be the guy that played probably closer to 30 minutes throughout this season. As we know, last year he came on strong. A lot of people didn't think he was even going to get a lot of playing time last year, but he just played so well. He played himself into the rotation to the point where he was playing over 20 minutes a game. So now you have to fill those minutes because he was going to play probably close to 25 to 30 minutes a game. You have to fill those minutes. Maybe we even get some Cam Whitmore, depending on if Reggie Bullock is struggling from outside like he did in the preseason. Maybe if Jayshawn Tate's playing more backup power forward, we may see some Cam Whitmore be able to slide in there and get some minutes as small forward. Because when he first was drafted and as the offseason going on, a lot of people thought, including myself, that he would probably spend more time in the G League. But with this injury now, with Tari Eason being out for a few weeks, I find it hard to believe that he will even be heading to the G League anytime soon, that he might actually get some playing time. Maybe not at the beginning because, of course, they did sign Bullock and he's a veteran and they do like his shooting, so they're going to see what they can get from him. But this definitely does open a door for Cam Whitmore to actually get some possible playing time a lot earlier than most people thought. But back to Tari Eason, this kind of does set him back because he was in line for a big season. He was going to be, like I said, probably the Rockets' sixth man, probably one of the first people, if not the first person off the bench, leading that second unit. And now you lose his defense. You lose that surprisingly good three-point shooting. He was actually one of the better rookie three-point shooters in the entire league and definitely one of the best shooters on a team that lacked shooting last season. He was one of the best shooters on the Rockets last season. So now you got to fill that hole. And like I said, luckily they have some depth at the forward position with Reggie Bullock, with Cam Whitmore, with Jayshawn Tate. Even some Amen at times, because at the time the Rockets ran 3-guard rotation in the last preseason game. So you might even see some Amen playing some small forward as well. So it'll be interesting to see how the Rockets kind of navigate and figure out what they're going to do with that, because we all know Orlando is a big team. They have a big front line. So now you lose another 6'7", 6'8" guy, Tari Eason. You're going to have to fill those minutes with some players that can actually match up with a Franz Wagner, with Apollo Banchero, with players like that. Even a Jonathan Isaac, who's may actually play this year. We'll see how that works out. But you will have to fill those minutes with somebody. But again, with Tari Eason being out 2 to 3 weeks, and we all know reevaluate it in 2 weeks. So that doesn't mean he's going to play in 2 weeks. So they can reevaluate him in 2 weeks and find out that it's going to take another couple of weeks before he comes back. So it's no guarantee that he's even going to be back in that 2 to 3 week period, because we all know leg injuries are real tricky, especially for basketball players who rely heavily on their legs to explode to the basket, sprinting up and down the court on fast breaks, especially somebody like Tari Eason who only know how to play one way, and that's straight ahead, hard every single play. So that's something the Rockets going to have to figure out how they're going to fill those minutes, and that's something that I'm sure Coach Ime they probably knew about this beforehand, even before today. I'm sure they knew that it was a good chance that he was going to be out a couple of weeks. So I'm sure they've been working on some type of game plan to figure out what to do with Tari Eason's minutes now that he won't be there the first 2 or 3 weeks. Also today at practice, they talked. Ime talked to some about some of the challenges that Orlando brings with their size in the front court, and some of the different things that they worked on. Like I said, the practice went on for probably 2 hours, a lot longer than at least us in the media thought it was going to go. So they definitely seem to be working on a lot of different things today in practice. We also talked to Jeff Green. I asked him about his versatility, the fact that you have Alperen and Jock who play a lot of uh, back to the basket, closer to the basket, pick and roll type game. But with Jeff Green, he brings the ability to be able to stretch the floor. He brings the ability to play some point forward. So he talked a little bit about that during his interview. And then Dylan, of course, talked about the fact that this team wants to be one of the better defensive teams in the league, because we know last few years the Rockets have been near the bottom, if not at the bottom, of the defensive rankings every single year. So if they can just get to the middle of the pack this year, that will make a huge difference on whether they are a team that improves 10 games or a team that improves 20 games. It's going to come all down to defense. It's going to start with Dylan Brooks. It's going to start with Fred VanVleet. Just like Fred VanVleet is going to be the quarterback on offense, I have a feeling that Dylan Brooks is going to be the quarterback on defense, calling out a lot of defensive plays, defensive coverages, making sure players are in the right position on defense. So Dylan Brooks talked some about that during today's practice. We're going to have the full video up on our YouTube page of today's practice interviews. So make sure you definitely check that out. We have the last game, a preseason game. We have all the interviews up from pre and post as well on our YouTube page. So make sure that you're subscribing to the YouTube page, because all throughout the year, every game that I'll be at, we'll have the full pre and post game interviews. We'll have any type of breaking news that happens in practices, because I'll definitely be out at a lot of the practices. And also, as far as if I'm out at the shoot around, we have any information there. Anytime I'm out at Toyota Center, we will have it up on YouTube if there's any information that we feel that everybody needs to know, especially Rockets fans. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, because that definitely helps us out a lot. It helps us continue to put out videos, and it helps to continue to help the channel grow. And we definitely appreciate the support. So we will definitely have our next podcast coming up on Thursday as we recap the season opener. Another thing to keep in mind, if you are on Twitter, make sure you follow us, because we are having a contest coming up where we're giving away $50 for the person that guesses the correct total for Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green. And you have to be subscribed to the YouTube page. You have to be subscribed to Rocky Field Podcast Twitter page, and you have to give us your prediction in the post that's up live on Twitter. So make sure, like I said, if you're not following us on Twitter and YouTube, make sure you're following us on both those platforms, because we're going to be bringing you a lot of information throughout all the entire Rocket season. So again, big breaking news today: Tari Eason will be out 2 to 3 weeks. Will be reevaluated in a couple of weeks. And of course, we will have all the latest news on Tari Eason and your Houston Rockets here on Rockets Field Podcast. And as usual, appreciate all the support. And make sure you check us out this coming Thursday for the next episode.